Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we are going to be discussing some more details, intricate details about convolution neural networks. We'll also be going to touching the topic of object detection, which is quite interesting and has many applications. And we're also going to be discussing the papers and along with project discussion and also the discussion of the GPUs. Okay. So we talked about this edge detection in the last class. When we go through different layers of the CNN, so we are actually first learning small scale features, and then based on them, we are learning large scale features. Okay, that was the basic concept. So that is why we need more than one convolution pooling layer combination, because we cannot learn all the features in just one layer. That's the thing. So at least we need two or three maybe. So in the case of edge detection, so we can have vertical edges as well as horizontal edges, depending on the picture that we have. So, and we also can have edges of circular shapes, for example. So the point goes like this: if I have this 6x6 image, okay, so I multiply that by this filter, which seems a pretty simple filter. So I get this 4x4 mapping. So that actually detects the edges. So these numbers are actually detecting the edges. So if I apply it on this matrix, for example, then I get this output, which is here. So you can see with respect to these diagrams which are below, so the zero region seems to be represented by the gray, which is closer to, in this case, the mapping is like gray, okay? And 10 is mapping to completely white, okay? So when I have the output of the filter, so the central values are representing the white, and I have two other regions. So this is basically sort of detection of edges. So I'm able to identify these three regions or these two edges in the original image. So higher pixel values are representing the brighter portion of the image. That's the thing. And the lower pixel values, obviously the darker portions. And this is how we can detect a vertical edge in an image. So we have to understand कि जो filter है, उस filter की application से जो output आ रहा है, so उसका जो output matrix है, that is basically responsible for detecting the edges. Okay, in the sense कि if we have a higher value, they will represent some brighter portion, and some will represent the lower, the darker portion, and in combination they are going to give you the edges. So that is how it operates. ठीक है? तो इसको basically करके देखने के लिए फिर इसका हैंड्स ऑन, इसका एक एक चीज का हैंड्स ऑन आपको दिखाना पड़ेगा. तो वो फिर अभी यू विल हैव टू वेट ड्यूरिंग द वीक. आई विल गिव इट. वो क्लास में डिस्कस नहीं होगा, बट आई एम मेकिंग अ लैब जिसके अंदर ये सारी बेसिक ऑपरेशंस आपको दिखा दें. बट दिस इज हाउ इट हैपेंस, सो इट्स नॉट अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट थिंग टू अंडरस्टैंड. टू ऑफ द फिल्टर्स जो है वो सोबेल एंड शार फिल्टर है. तो एंड if you want to detect vertical edges, the matrix can be like this, and if you like transpose it, then it will detect the horizontal edges. So the same filter can be used to detect both vertical and horizontal edges. And the Sobel filter is going to put a bit more weight on the central pixels. You can see that central pixels have the value of 2. ठीक है? और आम तौर पे in the filter application, that is what happens. The central part of the image gets more concentration than the edges. That's मतलब वो कहानी इस तरह की, जो फिल्टर जो आप अप्लाई करते हैं throughout the image, तो उसमें इस तरह की हो जाती है. ठीक है? तो we can also use our own filters and treat them as a parameter which the model can learn using the back propagation. So this is one filter, Shard filter, Sobel filter. I tried to see कि जो TensorFlow में जो filters हैं वो कौन से हैं. Probably वो default हैं. I was not able to discover them yesterday. इतना time नहीं था. तो you can discover that as well कि कौन से वो filters apply करते हैं, क्योंकि हम तो सिर्फ number of filters specify करते हैं. तो तो फिल्टर्स कौन से हैं? तो बट दे आर स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड फिल्टर्स जो कि इमेज प्रोसेसिंग की डोमेन से ऑलरेडी लोगों ने कई सालों से लोग अप्लाई कर रहे हैं. सो दे जस्ट टेक द फिल्टर्स फ्रॉम देयर एंड वी कैन आल्सो लाइक ट्रांसफॉर्म देम, ट्रांसपोज देम. तो वो हमारी अपनी मर्जी है कि किस तरह हम उसको कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. So this is some maths which you should know because I went through multiple blogs and multiple quizzes and multiple midterm exams. So all of them are stressing on these parameters कि भाई ये आपको equations आनी चाहिए. So n into n filter is the size of the image and the filter size is always less than that. Obviously, the output of the image is going to be n minus f plus 1 into n minus f plus 1. So agar 6 into 6 hai image and the filter is 3 into 3, then it's going to be 4 into 4 output. We don't have to calculate that ourselves. So it's just the basic formula. Okay. Isme there are two disadvantages. We know that the size is always going to shrink. So size shrinking as we go along is good for learning in the sense that it is going to learn quickly. There are going to be less weights to learn. But uska disadvantage ye hai ki pixels which are present in the corner are used only a few number of times. Because you see that the way the filter operates, it concentrates more on the central region. ठीक है कि ऊपर का जो line है तो the upper part of the filter does not get that much repetition as the central part. ठीक है तो जो image the pixels which are present at the corner of the image, they do not receive that much part of the filter. They only receive the side of the filter. ठीक है कि if I have the image and I don't have any padding, then the central filter, the central part of the filter can never come on the corner of the image if I don't have the padding, because I can't push the filter out of the image. समझ में आ रही है बात की? So उसके लिए फिर like for example I have this image, okay, and let's say कि I have this filter. So the filter is like 3 by 3. So what I want to say is that these two lines of the filter are never going to be applied on this part of the image. यानी हर pixel का हक ये है कि उसके ऊपर पूरा filter apply हो. But the corner of the images are only going to receive the corner of the filter. So that is why we do padding, because when I do padding, in the case of padding, I can add a layer of zeros here or 1 here, whatever. Okay? So I can add it on all the 4 sides. Then it becomes possible for me to shift this filter to the left because I want to start applying from here. And hence, the corner of the images also receive the central part of the filter. That is the main idea of the padding. Okay? So convolution has its own advantages, but the problem is that it's going to actually the corner of the image are going to be used only a lesser number of times as compared to the central part of the image. So that is masla ye that is information loss. What if the object that you are detecting is right at the corner? So it's never going to be detected properly. So therefore, this is the reason we do padding. And padding may the size is p, and the output then becomes like this. So if your input image is padded on all 4 sides, for example, then with this filter size, the output array that you're going to get is going to be of this size, n minus 2p, n plus 2p minus f plus 1. So you need to remember these formulas. Okay? So this is for the this case is for the normal case when we don't have any padding. Okay, and when we have padding, which is in most cases we do, then this is going to be the output of the filter application. These are going to be the dimensions of the feature map. सही है? Clear हो रही बात? ये feature map के dimensions ये होंगे. Because what happens is I have the image, I have the filter, and at the output I get the feature map or the activation map जिसको कहते हैं. So this and this is the dimension of the feature map. तो अगर मैं आपसे पूछूं exam में कि I have an input image of this size, filter is this size, and padding is, let's say I am using the padding. So what is going to be the dimension of the feature map? So you can just calculate from this formula. सही है. So you don't have to calculate yourself कि कितनी दफा वो filter चलेगा और कितनी दफा नीचे आएगा. तो ये. So valid padding means कि there is no padding, so the dimension is going to be the same as this. ठीक है. And same padding means कि we apply it on all the four sides. So P is equals to F minus 1 over 2. Where F is the filter size. ठीक है. This way we don't lose a lot of information and the image does not shrink either. So you are reducing the size of the overall problem through convolution, but you are not losing any information.
P is equal to F minus 1 times 2 नहीं होगा?
Output size is the same as the input size. So this is the output size and n is the input size, na? N. So they just equated it equals to n करके उन्होंने निकाल दिया. N तो cancel हो गया. P equals to, हाँ, F minus सही तो लिखा है. You just calculate this equation. But this is what you need to actually remember mainly. ठीक है, ये तो बस उन्होंने एक example करके बता दिया हो कि if you want the output size to be same as the input size, but typically even with padding we don't want that because we want the dimension to reduce a bit. ठीक है ना? तो इस तरह तो फिर वो तो it's gonna be the same as the image size. तो ये तो example उन्होंने करके बताया कि if you want that to happen, then you can calculate the padding size like this one. That's the thing. ठीक है? So that's the purpose of padding. And now the strided. So when we do the stride of 2, so I have to shift 2 in both the vertical direction and also when I finish the horizontal, then vertically also I shift 2. ऐसे नहीं कि vertically एक भी आप जाएंगे. Vertically भी in the second layer, in the second line of the image, you have to go down two times. So in that case, the dimensions will be this. So typically input, padding, stride, filter. So this is going to be the actual one if you're also using the stride. Stride equals to 1 करेंगे तो you can calculate what is going to be the dimension of the feature map. So this is important because when you execute the CNN, so it tells you the number of parameters खुद ब खुद. The total number of parameters in your network is this much. So you can also calculate yourself to understand कि कितने parameters. वो आपको इसलिए बताता है ताकि आपको you get an understanding of how complicated the learning is going to be. So if you have several hundred parameters, it's fine. But if you have like maybe thousands of parameters, then obviously आपको GPU लाजमी इस्तेमाल करना चाहिए. So stride helps to reduce the size of the image, which is a particularly useful feature. It's due to striding that the image size is decreasing. Okay? Stride is always there. I can't have a stride of 0. Okay? Something about the volume. So we talked about the channels. Okay, so typically the scenario that we have is this one, that I have this, let's say I have the image of size 6 into 6, but it is in 3 dimensions. That means I have 3 channels basically. Okay? So the filter, we were in the previous slides, we were assuming 1 image and 1 filter. Okay, but if I have 3 channels, then I will have to use 3 filters, but these 3 filters will be counted as 1 filter. Because RGB is just 1 image broken down into 3 parts. So these 3 yellow boxes are exactly 1 filter application. You have to keep that in mind. So these are not 3 separate filters. Okay? And the other thing that we did not talk about in the last class is that 1 application in the 3 channel range is only going to generate 1 feature map in 1 dimension. यानी ये नहीं आप कह सकते कि 3 feature maps output पे आएंगे. So how does this work? This works like this: I apply this first filter over the R channel, and okay, let's talk about how we get this one. सही है? So we get this one by applying this filter over the first location here, which is ये वाली जो है ना, this one. ठीक है? So when I apply this 3 by 3 in this area, then I should get this one, right? लेकिन मैं करता क्या हूँ कि the same I apply to green and the same I apply to blue. I get 3 values, so add them up. When I add them up, then I get this value. ठीक है? हाँ, मतलब अब वो it depends के simple summation कर सकते हैं, normalize कर सकते हैं. ये depend करता है कि वो किस तरह के. Typically the basic operation is to add them up. सही है? Adding is क्योंकि adding is important because of the fact that it's equivalent to like combining the colors. So in the image processing domain, we just do like that. Okay? So we just add them up like this. Okay? So इसी तरह this box can be, this can be achieved by this. So the next position, if I have a stride of 1 and just calculate this is only going to be only one value. एक ही value आएगी ना मेरे पास. This into this plus this into this plus one value, second value, third value, add them up and I get this one. सही है? So जी. Sorry? हाँ देखें, this is one image that you are looking at, ना? This whole is one image, but that one image is divided into 3 channels. So I have to take all, if the image is colored, so I have to take all the 3 channels together. So what I'm saying is that if you want to apply the filter map on this, then you also have to use the filter in basically 3 dimensions. And the dimension of the filter is going to be the same as the dimension of the image. So if I have 3 channels here, the filter is also going to have 3 channels. And one application generates one feature map. So RGB को आप अलग ना समझें. RGB is combined, but we just have to deal with the channels separately and then add the total across all the channels. That's it. So this is going to generate a feature map in just, we can say 1 dimension as compared to these 3 which are in 3 dimensions. ये वाला हाँ, तो ये इस तरह आएगा ना कि अभी जैसे मैंने बताया था कि like if I apply this one, so this is the application, the first application of this filter on this image. So I start from here. I always start from top left. ये तो हमने देखा था ना, ठीक है? All the images वगैरह. तो these are 9 values. These are 9 values. I multiply hammer-dab product से multiply किया. So I just get one number. ठीक है? I get one number for the green also and also for the blue at the same position. So I get 3 numbers. ठीक है ना? So I add them up to get this number. That's it. ठीक है? So keep in mind that the number of channels in the input and filter should be the same. Now, when you say that you want to use multiple filters, that means that you are using multiple filters in 3 channels, channel mode. जब आप कहते हैं ना कि number of filters equals to 2 or 3, so उसका मतलब फिर ये होता है कि आपने यहाँ पे इस तरह का एक और scenario add कर दिया. So now you are generating different feature maps. Otherwise, for one of these 3D things, I just have one feature map. That's it. सही है? And उसमें जो weight sharing वाली बात थी, तो I am just sharing the weights across the filter. So I have just 9 weights to learn. And the bias I add 1 per the feature map. 1 bias per feature map. So it's not like 1 bias for each neuron here. कि एक cell के साथ एक bias है, नहीं ऐसा नहीं. So when I have this feature map, it's just a transformation. So I add the bias here, which is just one bias neuron with 1 feature map. सही है? So I'm sharing the weights across all the filters, and for each of the feature map which I receive at the output, I just add 1 bias. So that drastically reduces the number of parameters to learn as compared to a fully connected scenario. सही है? So this is what it is saying. If we use multiple filters, the output dimension will change, but it will change only based के how many filter applications. जितने filters होंगे उतना ही आप cross 2 कर दें, cross 3 कर दें. So that's going to be the output that we have. So these are the dimensions of the output. So you can get such a question in the hourly. Okay. So these are the generalized dimensions that you have. So input n into c where NC is the number of channels. Filter the same, because these are supposed to be the same. Padding is P, stride is S. And this is what we generate. N plus this into NC dash, where NC dash is the number of filters. So I just stretch this equation here. So this is the same as we saw in the striding slide. I just multiply that by the number of filters, because जितने filters apply करेंगे उतनी वो dimension आपकी बढ़ जाएगी, ठीक है? But they are going to be separate. So these are the generalized dimensions. So now it's important to understand what happens. ये आपने last time मुझसे सवाल पूछा था कि ये हमें clarity चाहिए. So what happens at the one layer of CNN? What does that mean? ठीक है? So in this case, once we get an output after convolving over the entire image using a filter. So let's say this is the output. Okay. So this is, I just convolve one time, because RGB is not separate thing. Consider that as one application. Okay. वो तो channel की वजह से. We add a bias term to those outputs and finally apply the activation function to generate the activation. So I'm not doing any activations while I apply the filter. In fact, the filter is the weight matrix. ये जो filter matrix है, that can be considered to be the weight matrix, because जितने filter के cells होंगे उतने ही आपके weights होंगे learn करने. That's what we have been saying also in the last class, right? The number of weights that we learn in the convolution process is the same as the size of the filter. The size of the filter is 9, so that means I have to learn 9 weights, and I share the 9 weights across all the filter applications. The same 9 weights. Even though I am changing the filter, the weights are going to remain the same. Even though I'm changing the filter, the weights are going to remain the same. So that's a lot of dimensionality reduction that I can achieve. ठीक है?
multiple input process कर रहे होते हैं, तो फिर हम उनके output को इनके से average out कर लेते हैं. उसके अंदर भी क्या filter की values average out नहीं होती, क्योंकि जो activation calculate हो रही होती है वो input के base के ऊपर हो रही होती है.
Let me just okay, so we talked about the fact that we can average over this when we are updating the weights through SGD. Then we can average the performance over the different activation maps, because the weights are being shared. So that's one thing that logically that seems quite possible. Okay. So this is one layer of a convolution neural network. So in this case, W1 multiplied by A0, that means that weights in the next layer are multiplied by the inputs of the previous layer plus the bias of the current layer. So yeah, or the weights in the current layer and bias in the current layer, and this. So in our case, A0 is the image, okay, and W1 is exactly the filter, because the number of weights is equal to the filter size. So it can be considered the weight matrix. Okay, and I just add one bias here, and then I can give this whole data to one activation function, and that is going to give me the value of activation for the next layer. So this is what happens at one layer of the CNN. Okay, so one application of the filter either over one channel or 3 channel. Okay, that is done. That is equivalent to A dot W, like we have seen previously, plus one bias value for each one feature map that is generated, and that is then given to the activation function, just a ReLU hai, and that generates non-linearity and the final output. So that becomes the activation for the next layer. So that's how it works. Any fully connected में तो we are always talking about weight matrix and the input matrix, जैसे back propagation में हमने देखा था. But in this case, we have to equate the weight matrix with the filter. That is the only difference. And we are not having one bias value for each of the 4x4, but एक activation map के लिए one bias value. ठीक है? तो इसमें सबसे बड़ा फायदा ये है कि the output size is not depending on the number of features, the size of the image. ये बहुत अच्छी चीज है कि what happens here is only depending on the filter size, not on the size of the image directly. ठीक है? So that helps us cut down the dimension. Otherwise it would have been, how is this? ये कैसे हो रहा है बता सकते हैं?
फिल्टर साइज जो भी हम रखते हैं उसके हिसाब से हमारी डायमेंशन जो है वो बहुत ज्यादा है।
फिल्टर साइज के हिसाब से डायमेंशन इवॉल्व, जो फिल्टर का साइज होगा उसके हिसाब से आपका एक्टिवेशन मैप आएगा। सो दैट्स द कंट्रोलिंग अथॉरिटी हियर, ठीक है। Okay, so let's say we have 10 of such filters, so the number of parameters कितने होंगे, ये इस तरह का सवाल आ सकता है, ठीक है। ये आता रहता है, आप किसी भी उसका देख लें, क्विज़ेस देख लें या फिर सॉल्व क्वेश्चन पेपर्स देख लें, तो they give such type of question. This is pretty simple. So I have a filter of size 3 into 3 into 3. So this is the size. I have 10 such filters. So what is the number of parameters? So number of parameters for each filter 27. 9 into 3. So total parameters are 27. There will be a bias term for each filter. So total parameters per filter equals to 28. So 27 plus 28, and there are 10 such filters. Total parameters are 280. अच्छा, यहाँ पे अब ये पता चल रहा है कि I am learning a separate weight matrix for each channel. सही है, क्योंकि 27 का मतलब ये है कि for each channel I have to use a separate weight matrix. That is why I have 27. So that could be the norm here, ठीक है. But again, these will be replicated for all the other filters. The same weights will be replicated, or no? Total parameters per filter 28, 27, 28. So 28 into 10. 28 into 10. So they're going to be different. हाँ, weight sharing नहीं हुई. It's going to be different. लेकिन हमने जो पढ़ा था वो, what we read was कि we share the weights. So this is probably the actual calculation that we, जितने parameters actually बन रहे हैं, but the weights are being shared across the different activation maps. ठीक है, ये तो confirmed बात है. So the weights will be shared. Yeah, so in this case, we can logically think about the fact that one layer of the convolution is detecting the same sort of things. I mean the edges, for example. Okay? So it does make sense to share the weights across all the filter applications for that particular layer. Obviously, for the next convolution layer, the weight matrix is going to be different. वहाँ तो हम नहीं शेयर कर सकते, उसका तो साइज भी डिफरेंट हो जाएगा सारा. तो it does make sense. तो यहाँ पे वो टोटल कैलकुलेट करके बता रहा है कि टोटल पैरामीटर्स कितने आते हैं, but they are not different. So we can assume that we are learning the same 9 weights across all the filter applications across all the channels. Otherwise, तो I mean it will just blow out. तो दोबारा से आपके सारे वो हो जाएंगे. ठीक है, सही है, क्लियर होगी बात? ओके, कहाँ है यार? So now this is how you can see it. So यहाँ पर एक बात, you can see you start from here, which is the original image. So this is a very small image, obviously, in 3 channels. When you do the first convolution, so F is the number of filters, S is the stride, P is the padding. Zero padding means what? Zero padding क्या होती है? नहीं, zero और same. Zero का मतलब there is no padding. अभी padding नहीं की हमने. And 10 filters. So 37 into 37. तो 37 कहाँ से आया भाई? जरा कैलकुलेट करेंगे आप? ये इक्वेशन, हाँ, ये इक्वेशन है, इसको अप्लाई कर लीजिएगा. -2 नहीं है, ये वाली इक्वेशन है. n minus plus 2p minus f divided by s plus 1. This is the multiply by the same thing, that is the output dimension. So ये यूज कीजिएगा, वो -2 ना यूज कीजिएगा. अगर मैं stride 2 दे दूंगा फिर -2 तो नहीं होगा ना. सही है, तो ये कह रहा हूँ. ठीक है, so ये now we come here. So अब यहाँ से यहाँ पे क्या चेंज नजर आया आपको? What change you saw here coming from here to here? These are the activation maps, right? So I'm generating 10 activation maps now. ठीक है, so इधर से इधर आने में what is the change, visible change that you see? The channels have increased. I applied 10 filters. Now I have 10 different outputs. The size is decreasing. 39 से we get 37.
So overall size increasing.
वो I'm just talking about the size of the map. वो तो number में increase हुआ है ना कि number of filters I'm getting 10 such 37, but as compared to 39 my size of the input is decreasing. So yeah, so it's sort of a dimensional reduction. ठीक है. Now what I take the 5 by 5 filter size, so it's going to reduce even more. So the larger filter size you have, I take the number of filters as 5.
So filter size,
5 into 5. So 5 into 5 में it's going to reduce even more. ठीक है. So I get this 17 by 17. ये जरा calculate करें कैसे आया? 37 minus 5 over 3. 32 over 3. हाँ? कहाँ डालना है इसको?
सर ये divided by 2 है और फिर separate plus 1 तो 17 हो जाएगा.
अच्छा वो +1 सेपरेट नहीं है, डिनोमिनेटर में नहीं है. 32 अच्छा 16 + 1. ठीक है, हाँ सही है +1. Okay, so now I get 70. So it's a drastic reduction. But क्या difference नजर आ रहा है यहाँ से यहाँ पे? Feature maps increase मेरी मर्जी से की. So because of the fact that I am able to reduce the size of the input, I am able to increase the feature maps. When I increase the feature maps, I can learn more clearly what I want to learn in each convolution layer. अभी यहाँ पे pooling का मामला नहीं आया है. ठीक है ना? सही क्लियर हो गई बात. ये बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं जो लास्ट टाइम हमने इतनी क्लियरली डिस्कस नहीं किए थे. Similarly, you can see I can decrease even further here and then increase it further. So as you go along, when you configure the convolution layers, you can increase the filters, number of filters. सही है, ये चीजें सारी. And then I have this 1960 and then I can output this one. So the size of the image shrinks whereas the number of channels usually increases. If the input of the pooling layer, अच्छा हाँ. So why do we need pooling? In this scenario, why do we need it? मतलब it seems that by just decreasing the increasing the size of the filter, I can have a very good dimensionality reduction of the input size, and I can simply increase the number of filters in each convolution layer. Why do I need pooling? ये तो अच्छे खासे आ रहे हैं. 1960 is fine. MLP will be able to handle it. मल्टीलेयर परसेप्ट्रॉन संभाल लेगा. तो यहाँ पूलिंग की फिर क्या जरूरत है? Why do you think we need pooling? As a logically आप सोचें कि मैंने I applied the convolution to a filter. I extracted the images. I applied 10 filters and extracted the images in 10 different ways. The edges. ठीक है? Now the size is reduced. So why do I need to reduce it further? So remember that this is not the image size. Image size इतना कम नहीं होता. It's typically, let's assume 1000 by 1000. When you talk about three channels, then it's typically 1000 by 1000, 1024 by 1024. सही है. देखें, the point is कि we are doing things at the pixel level. ठीक है. Pixel level का मतलब ये है कि in the convolution layer you are trying to combine pixels to detect the edges, right? But still you have thousands of pixels to monitor. So pooling में we assume कि everything is not important in the image, but we want to detect. So if we just use a small filter over the convolved output, a very small filter size like 2 by 2, and average the values there, so still I will get a very good approximation and I will be able to reduce the size further, because 1000 by 1000 say 1 million के bringing to hundreds, or typically I just want to have like maybe several hundreds of inputs, maybe just 60-70 inputs here or 100-200 inputs here. ठीक है, समझ में आ रही बात की? So in order to do this for a typical image size, it is not possible to do that without the pooling operation. The pooling operation helps you to approximate the images even further to cut down the size. So taking the average in images is not an issue, जैसे हमने अभी डिस्कस कर लिया है, because there are no outliers का कोई इतना कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं होता. So it's okay to do that. ठीक है? तो पूलिंग के बगैर गुजारा नहीं है जी. Yeah, it makes the process less compute intensive, particularly here. Okay, it decreases the number of features even more. So I am into million features or million pixels here, and I want to go to some tens of features here. So therefore, उसमें pooling हम average, तो max pooling and average pooling. Max pooling is also okay because of the fact that images pixel which are close together are not likely to have very different densities. सही है. अब जैसे for example ये bottle है, मैं इसमें से छोटा सा लूंगा, एक हिस्सा ले लूं, so that small part is going to contain the same thing in an image. If the filter size is 2 by 2, then nothing, मतलब उसमें तो कोई problem है ही नहीं. ठीक है. So therefore, this is what we need to keep in mind. ठीक है. So if the pooling layer size, if the input of the pooling layer is nh height into width into number of channels, then the output will be nh minus f over s plus 1 into this plus 1 into nc. सही है. और इसमें pooling का where is the size, ये कैलकुलेट करके देखना पड़ेगा अभी. Let's see. Okay, so in this case, yeah, so 32 by 32 by 3, 5 by 5 filter size, stride 1, 28 by 28. Yeah, I increase the filter and increase the number of filters, so 6 con 1 हो गया. F2 S2 14 14 6. So here it remains the same because I'm just applying a transformation function. Pooling is just नहीं. हाँ, the number of filter applications will same, although the size will reduce. तो यहाँ मेरे पास कितनी चीजें? How many activation maps I have here? I have 6 of them. So here I will have the same 6 but with a reduced dimension, with average or max. ठीक है? So, but why I am having F2? 2 by 2 of the pooling filter size. ठीक है? And stride 2. अच्छा, stride भी change हुई है. So what difference is that going to make? Stride ज़्यादा होगी तो again it's going to cut it down even further. And why they are taking stride 2 here? Why not stride 1?
So बेचारे के जो max pooling वो individual blocks के ऊपर वो overlap ना आ रहा.
क्यों ना आ रहा हो?
कि assumption होगी वो localized जो independent.
There is not much difference in a 2 by 2 filter of the local pixel values. भाई मैंने 4 पिक्सल के ऊपर मैंने मैक्स पूलिंग की, अब उसको ओवरलैप करने की क्या जरूरत है? But I just approximated a very small region. There's no need to overlap. This is not a filter application. So I can move to the next block without any overlapping. So therefore the stride 2 is working for me. ठीक है? Stride 1 here, again pooling is always with stride 2 or in most cases आप try करके देख सकते हैं. So I reduce it. अब देखें ना आप कितना फर्क पड़ गया. 28 by 28, 14 by 14. Then 10 by 10. Otherwise, if I had come directly from here to here, it would have been 28 by 28 or maybe something like 15 by 15 here. So ज़्यादा late होता. But now you can see that look, I got to 400 here. That's what we were aiming for, right? So this is one layer and this is the second layer. So at the minimum level, in any problem with RGB channels, you should apply at least 2. ठीक है? तो उसका कानून क्या है कि increase the number of filters, जैसे 6, 10, and just keep the padding, the filters, the stride to 2 in pooling, and the number of filters just keep on increasing them. ठीक है? So number of parameters, यहाँ बताएं कि क्या चक्कर हो रहा है? 32 by 32 by 3. How many parameters I am going to have? 5 into 5 है ना? So I have 5 weights. 25 weights, sorry, 5 into 5 का filter है ना, so I have 25 weights. How many filters I am using? 6 filters. Plus I have 1 bias. भाई यहाँ feature maps कितने generate होंगे ये बताएं मुझे.
20 by 20 by 6 होंगे अगर क्योंकि यहाँ पर filters के number नहीं लिखे हुए, filter का size लिखा हुआ है, कितने filters अप्लाई करने हैं वो नहीं लिखा हुआ, volume का नाम 6 है.
हाँ ये बताया ना उन्होंने 6 है, ठीक है। तो हाउ मेनी वेट्स आई हैव इन टोटल और हाउ मेनी पैरामीटर्स? 25 weights which are shared for all the filter applications. 5 into 5 का filter size है ना, तो 25 weights हो गए. 25 weights are shared for all the application in that layer. Plus 1 is the bias for each activation which is generated. I am generating six such maps. So 26 into 6 is 156. सही है? क्या हो गया?
नीचे मैप के अगेंस्ट वेट नहीं लगाते?
देखिए,
फिल्टर साइज का
number of weights is equal to the size of the filter. That's it. For one convolution application, I will have the same weight matrix. And for one application of the filter, चाहे वो 3D में हो,
मतलब फिर ऊपर वाले उसके अंदर हमारे पास एक पॉइंट के अंदर खाली 5 वेट्स होंगे.
25. This is 5 into 5. अगली लेयर पे
4 हो जाएंगे, 5 हो जाएंगे, 22 में रहेंगे.
So let me just. Okay, so we saw here that the number of parameters for the pooling layer can be calculated through this formula. So in the previous case, I have 28 by 28 output from the first convolution. So 28 minus 2, because the size of the filter is 2, that is 26 over S, which is again 2, that is 13, plus 1, which is 14. So that is exactly what we have here. And the number of weights is going to be 4 weights per application of the pooling filter. And I have 6 such that the 4 plus 1, 5 bias, 5 into 6, 30. So 30 weights for that case. Okay, so now for the LeanIt was the first one, which was supposed to recognize digits, especially on a check, bank check. So what do you see here about LeanIt? How can you describe this based on what we have read up to now? That's a very simple convolution network, right? So how many layers do I have? One layer and the second layer. I just have 2 layers. And the number of parameters is also pretty simple, 120. This was actually the time of when we did not have the GPUs. Okay. So it's now, so how come this is being reduced? Can you tell me, please? कौन देगा इसका जवाब? जी. हिडन लेयर है भाई, उसकी खत्म होगी बात. ये तो दिस इज द इनपुट लेयर ऑफ द परसेप्ट्रॉन और द एमएलपी, जो भी आप कह रहे हैं. दिस इज द इनपुट लेयर, दिस इज द इनपुट डेटा. दिस इज व्हाट इज एक्चुअली गोइंग टू डू द लर्निंग. I can have 2 hidden layers also, because this is going to do the actual object or the number detection. So very simple image with this size, filter size is large from the beginning, but it remains the same here. So the filter size remains the same. I apply the average pooling, and in the pooling I always take stride 2, and you know it seems to be a pretty good system. And I can apply sigmoid family or the ReLU. Remember the activation functions are supposed to add the non-linearity. That is the reason we do the activation function. The activation function is not a default thing. The problem is you lose the non-linearity, so we cannot actually do any back propagation or learn over the error function until I have that non-linearity in the place, because it's because of the activation functions के neural networks are non-linear mappers. ठीक है, function mappers आप इस तरह कह रहे हैं, ठीक है. So all these activation functions are only introducing non-linearity. ये कोई default application नहीं है कि होगा तो हमें करना ही करना है. Sometimes we just take a linear activation function कि जो input आई है just give that as the output. Sometimes we don't need it. हम इसको बाजू का drop भी तो कर देते हैं, neurons को जो drop करते हैं, so activation goes out. So it's not an obligation, ठीक है. So what is the difference between sigmoid and ReLU?
So sigmoid जो है वो output को contain करता है 0 और 1 के दरमियान. ReLU जो है वो negative values को 0 कर देता है, जबकि positive values को जो भी आती है वो आगे.
So what happens? What is supposed to happen?
So क्योंकि multiple layers इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं.
हाँ. Sigmoid can learn very in a very difficult way at the endpoints. And ReLU has no such restriction. Okay, but ReLU is pretty tight. So अब हमारे पास leaky ReLU is catering for that. It does not push down negative values to 0. It puts them into alpha something, where alpha is a very small number. So yeah, so the ReLU chart is like this. So if this is the origin, okay. So the ReLU chart goes like this. Everything that is less than 0 goes here, and then, but the chart for leaky ReLU goes like this. It's going to be very, very small, less than 0, and then you will have negative values, and then you will have the same here. And I also have now ELU or PLU, I think it's exponential ReLU, something like that. ELU hai na? ELU hai kya hai? So they, on the negative side, they have an exponential component now. So all these three are being used. If you want to, because ReLU is good, but it has a tough condition. Sometimes it could not work for some of the data sets. So you should apply that leaky ReLU one. अच्छा, जो AlexNet था, it was an improvement over the LeNet. ठीक है? What is the improvement that you see here with respect to this one? You just increase the convolution layers. यही उन्होंने काम किया था. Although that led, आप देख रहे हैं कि filter size, the number of filters they are keeping on increasing, and बाद में उसको कम कर देते हैं वो. ठीक है? So here these are the 9216 is the input size. So overall यहाँ parameters थे 60,000, but now we have to learn 60 million.
Sir, how are the parameters reduced to pooling?
Yeah, 2 to 7, 55, 27, 27, 13, 13, 13, 6. That is the reduction that is happening due to convolution and pooling. And the number of filters I am deliberately increasing so that I can learn better. So 60 million, but AlexNet is also considered to be a very good performer. और अभी भी लोग इसको इस्तेमाल कर लेते हैं. Pre-trained AlexNet अगर आपको मिल जाए तो for some applications it could work good. It does not. Both of these networks do not involve any tricks that ResNet uses or InceptionNet uses. उसमें कोई trick नहीं खेलना.
सर ये FC वाली लेयर का थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन बात करते हैं कि पूलिंग और कन्वोल्यूशन में समझाएगा, FC का जरा समझा दें दोबारा.
ये कौन बात कर रहा है?
सर उसामा.
आपको नहीं समझ में आया FC? अच्छा ठीक है, मैं
थोड़ा सा रिपीट कर.
हाँ, तो FC is just the basic application जो आप लोगों ने प्लेग्राउंड बनाया था उसका बैक प्रोपगेशन का, just a basic application of the multi-layer perceptron. So this is the size of the input, which is very reduced as compared to this size. And then we just have these two hidden layers, and then we have the softmax function. What does the softmax function do?
Sir, activation function होता है जो I think थोड़ा सा rounding off थोड़ा कम कर देता है. अगर अभी बहुत ज़्यादा वो आ रहे हैं like
softmax function generates a probability. हाँ, it generates a probability because output पे vector आता है, तो वो उसके सारे outputs को normalize करके each element से उस normalized term को divide करके it generates a probability vector, and you can have then the probability classification जैसे आपके उसमें आती है logistic regression में कि what is the probability of getting the class yes or class no. So it just for the classification purpose generates a probability. So this is just a basic application of the multi-layer perceptron, where the number of hidden neurons is less than the number of neurons in the input layer. So here I'm using two hidden layers, and then I have this output layer in which I'm applying this softmax function. So yeah,
सर जो बेसिकली पूछना ये था कि जो AlexNet या LeNet के अंदर ये जो 4096 का नंबर है, is this fixed या ये वेरी होने के बावजूद?
Yeah, this is fixed. This is fixed for the AlexNet. देखिए, when you do transfer learning, मैंने एग्जाम में भी सवाल पूछा, ट्रांसफर लर्निंग में होता ये है कि you do not change these things. This you do not mess with at all. You just change the upper part. The upper part is this one. So you mess with the number of hidden layers, the number of neurons, because you have to adapt this portion to your own application. So if I have the AlexNet which has been tuned on images of natural sceneries or birds or cats, and I am also, मेरे डेटा में भी वो चीजें हैं, अगरचे और भी हैं, सही है, तो I can use a pre-trained AlexNet, but I will have to modify the output layer obviously, क्योंकि मेरी how many objects I want to classify is my own problem. AlexNet तो पता नहीं कितनों पे ट्रेन हुआ है, but I have to adapt this part when I do transfer learning. So the MLP part is under my control. I have to adapt that, but previously I can use that as it is, or I can also tune that. लेकिन मुझे उसकी उस तरह से मुझे शुरू से ट्रेनिंग करने की जरूरत नहीं होगी. सही है, समझ में आ गई बात की जी.
बात से आगे बस आखिरी सवाल है कि AlexNet और LeanNet तो बेसिकली फिर मतलब ये अपने अपने कन्वोल्यूशन और पूलिंग के अपने अपने जो उन्होंने लगे कि यार इससे चल जाता है अच्छा, बेसिकली तो ये एल्गोरिथम सिर्फ ये हुए ना, मतलब सिर्फ इसमें पैरामीटर्स बदल रहे हैं, अच्छा कि इतनी कॉन्वोल्यूशन कर लो.
इनकी जो मोटिवेशन थी ना, वो दैट वाज द कंपटीशन. सो दे जस्ट वांटेड टू विन द कंपटीशन एंड दे डिड इट इन 2013 आई थिंक, मैंने लास्ट टाइम बताया था. बट आज मैं आप लोगों को इसका डिफरेंस बता रहा हूँ कि व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस इन देयर आर्किटेक्चर्स. सो दिस इज अ वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट आर्किटेक्चर, और टिपिकली हम इसको नहीं इस्तेमाल करेंगे अनलेस कि मैं कोई प्री ट्रेन्ड AlexNet यूज करूं जो उस चीज पे ट्रेन हुआ हो जिसकी मुझे जरूरत है. Otherwise I will not use it, because nowadays we are focusing on the ResNet because it has shown a very good performance by all means. तो इस वजह से we focus more on the ResNet. ठीक है. So here जी 5/5 के नीचे कहाँ पे?
Bottom left.
3/3 same.
पिछले वाले से सेम है.
3/3 is what? Is the size of the filter.
पैडिंग सेम.
हाँ, पैडिंग सेम है, ये इसका मतलब होगा. पैडिंग सेम. क्या होता है सेम और कौन सी होती है दूसरी? वैलिड एंड सेम. So same padding. So this VGGNet में so I have this image size 2 to 4. I think this was the image size of the competition. So 2 to 4. What happens here is I have again I have multiple applications. So here the parameters is even more. So 64. So I increase this, 3 से लेके 64 पे I go very quickly. 128, 256, 512. So I'm increasing continuously, and then I have the same things here. I have 1000 output neurons, and I am adding more layers here in the VGGNet. So I got 138 million parameters. और इनकी जो I think they are just different from AlexNet based on how they are configuring the layers. सही है. So ये भी आपको बना बनाया मिल जाता है VGGNet. So ये सारे वो मॉडल हैं जो अभी भी इस्तेमाल हो रहे हैं. Although ऑब्जेक्ट डिटेक्शन के लिए अब ये चीजें नहीं इस्तेमाल हो रही. अब ResNet ज्यादा यूज हो रहा है, एंड देन यू आर आल्सो यूजिंग YOLO. YOLO बहुत ज्यादा इस्तेमाल हो रहा है. YOLO की लंबी कहानी जो आज हमें करनी है आफ्टर द ब्रेक. ठीक है. So ठीक है, ये VGGNet does not, इसमें कोई there is no innovation here. It's just कि we have the power, so we can add more layers and just. In the case of ResNet, they were dealing specifically with the problem of the gradients vanishing and exploding that we saw in the last class. So we saw here that this is the typical case of how we apply the activation. So ZL plus 1 equals to WL plus 1 into activation from the previous layer plus the bias of the current layer. That's how we typically do it. And then I apply the activation function here, and similarly for the second layer. But this is, I can replicate this here. So linear, so when I apply the activation, I get a linear output, but I want to make it non-linear, so I apply ReLU. I get the activation for the next layer, blah, blah, blah. But now what I do is I skip the connection. Okay, so I can skip connections in between. So this is what happens in ResNet that we saw last time. Skip connections, where we take activation from one layer and feed it to another layer that is even more deeper in the network. So पीछे से आगे skip करते हैं, not while back propagating. Okay. So this is how it happens. So it turns out कि इसको skip करने से the benefit of it is that even if you train deeper network, the training error does not increase. So if you are using a plain network like AlexNet and something like that, so if I increase the number of layers, at one point of time, definitely the error is going to increase. एक स्टेज ऐसी आएगी कि उसके बाद आपका एरर इंक्रीज करना शुरू कर देगा, बट रेस्टनेट के अंदर ये नहीं होगा ड्यू टू द स्किपिंग कनेक्शन सिनेरियो, जिसको ड्रॉप आउट भी अब उससे एसोसिएट कर सकते हैं कि आई एम ड्रॉपिंग आउट, बट आई एम नॉट ड्रॉपिंग आउट लेयर्स, आई एम ड्रॉपिंग आउट न्यूरॉन्स. सो हियर दे आर ड्रॉपिंग आउट कंप्लीट लेयर्स. सो दिस इज अ सेपरेट इम्प्लीमेंटेशन. ड्रॉप आउट तो इसका एक आप कह रहे हैं कि दिस बिकेम अ मोटिवेशन फॉर इम्प्लीमेंटिंग द ड्रॉप आउट, इफ यू कैन से लाइक दैट. ठीक है. So therefore, there is no comparison between the traditional CNNs and ResNet if you are talking about multi-dimensional big problems. Okay. And so here we can see this is what happens. So AL plus 2 equals to GA in the first layer, L layer. So I skip the L plus 1 layer in between. If I make the bias and weights for that layer equals to 0, then I can skip it completely and I can play. So from time to time they implement it across the different layers with a certain probability. जैसे कि हमने कहा कि drop out also happens with a certain stochastic distribution. Randomly भी पता नहीं करते हैं, लेकिन it should happen that way. कि the neurons which are not firing have a more probability of being dropped out. ठीक है. So in this case here also कि जो the layers which are not generating that much activations can be left out from time to time. सही है. So this is how it happens and the reason it's very successful. ये हमने concept देखा नहीं था. This is a very important concept. 1-to-1 convolution. It's a very
एक चीज before we move on from that, एक चीज मुझे उसके ऊपर पूछनी थी ResNet के ऊपर कि जो हम स्किपिंग कर रहे हैं तो जो बीच वाली लेयर्स है वो परमानेंटली स्किप हो जाएंगी या फिर क्या, या फिर कुछ कभी कभार वो उसके थ्रू जाएगा और कभी कभार स्किप होगा?
नहीं, परमानेंटली अगर स्किप करना है तो फिर उनको डालने की क्या जरूरत है?
यही मैं एक्चुअली सोच रहा हूं.
ये बात है ना. तो वो ये स्किपिंग कनेक्शंस, हाँ, तो ये बेसिकली दे आर द कनेक्शंस आर स्किप्ड. जैसा कि आप ड्रॉप आउट में देखें ना, वही वाली कहानी होती है. सो मुझे ये कंफर्म नहीं है कि आर दे यूजिंग सम स्टोकेस्टिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन और नॉट, बट दे मस्ट बी इन ईच द हर फॉरवर्ड फेज के अंदर the skipping architecture could change. अब वो कितने layers तक आपने एक architecture use करना है, ये फिर एक user defined चीज है. इसमें कोई हम नहीं कहते. हम सिर्फ concept को पकड़ते हैं इस तरह के architectures में, क्योंकि हमारा मकसद आपको ResNet तफसील पर पढ़ाना नहीं है. ठीक है. अभी usage की ज्यादा मसाइल खड़े हैं. There's so much to teach. ठीक है. Okay. So 1-to-1 जो convolution है उसके अंदर जो main idea है is to reduce the number of channels from the image. So like I have, let's say 192 channels, 28, 20 to 192. सही है. So I want to reduce the number of channels. So by using the 1-to-1 convolution, I can reduce them. I can reduce them to 32 channels. अभी तो हम सिर्फ 3 channels की बात करें ना, but ऐसा सिनेरियो हो सकता है कि I can have multiple channels. In very high resolution images, it is possible to have multiple channels.
RGB तो फिर भी RGB
Actually जो high, जो spectral hyper spectrometry और इस तरह के जो images है ना, तो उसके अंदर maybe it is possible. If you get astronomical images or even you have special cameras for detecting very small things like insects वगैरह के लिए, कोई आपने पेस्ट कंट्रोल के लिए कोई डिटेक्शन करनी है तो उसमें यू आर यूजिंग वेरी हाई स्पीड कैमरास, वेरी प्रोफेशनल कैमरास. ठीक है.
तो फीचर में आपको भी यूज करने में यूजफुल हो
it
सकता है.
currently relates to channels. Feature maps, so it depends on us. We want to increase the number of filters. So let's see how this works. This is only specific to the Inception net. So इसमें concept ये है कि we do not know what is the ideal filter size. I mean, we say 3-3, 5-5, but what if both are useful? What if it's just 1-1 which is useful? So कौन सा हमने करना है? तो इसमें आइडिया ये कि we use a pooling layer to shrink the height and width of the image. ये तो हमने देख लिया. To reduce the number of channels from an image, we convolve it using a 1:1 filter, hence reducing the computation cost. So this is like जबरदस्ती उसको बहुत कम करने वाली चीज है. If you want to decrease the number of filters, so just number of channels, then very drastically, then just do the 1:1. But obviously, it does not have to be done very regularly. So the point is that I do not know what is my ideal filter size. सही है. So एक idea ये है कि I can stack them. So if I stack it, like if I go from one layer, this layer to this layer, and I can stack 1:1, 3:3, 5:5, and also max pooling at the same time. So in this area, I'm applying 4 different operations and stacking the result of all these. So this is the result of, let's say, 1:1, 3:3, 5:5, and max pooling. So I apply all the operations. Okay? Instead of choosing what filter size to use or whether to use convolutional pooling, the Inception uses all of them and stacks all the output. यानी हर चीज इकट्ठे करके दिखा दो. So number of multiplies here in this case is going to be 120 million. सही है. तो ये stacking का एक idea है. ठीक है कि I can have such a block. जैसे I have a residual block in ResNet. I have a residual block in ResNet, right? In which I'm skipping the connection in the residual block. सही है. In the same way, I can have an Inception block in which I'm doing this. And this happens in sequence. पहले 1:1, फिर उस पे 3:3, फिर 5:5. सही है. So let's see how that happens. So number of multiplies for the first convolution is this one. So con 1:1 and 16, 1:1 into 192. 28 into 28 into 16 into 1, 2.4 million. So here, due to 1:1, I'm able to shrink the number of channels from 192 to 16, but the image size remains the same. Okay. In this case, I'm increasing the number of channels because here probably I'm not applying any 1:1, and here I'm applying 5:5. सही है. तो उसकी वजह से increase तो होगा. Number of channels मेरे increase हो गए. So number of multipliers in this case, so total number of multipliers is 12.4 million. बस इस केस में जो है ना, आप ये याद रखें कि I have this one block of functionality which I can insert at different points of the network. In this block, I am doing something which is really computationally intensive, but the best part is the 1:1 convolution, which is able to cut down the number of channels. ठीक है. और अब ये अगली साइड देख लें ना, फिर इसको आप ये इस तरह ये देख लें, फिर अब देखते हैं. ठीक है. So this is the idea for the Inception net. So in this case, you can see that I have this previous activation. So 1:1, 1:1, and max pooling. So I apply all 3 of them to this previous activation. And from these 3, I apply these 3. So isko मैं 1:1 पे ले जाता हूँ. From here, I apply 5:5, and on this one, I apply 3:3. And there is also a direct 1:1 convolution, and I concatenate all of these to get the output at this layer. So basically, I am using multiple feature maps in just one convolution layer. और ये क्यों अच्छी चीज है, क्योंकि I don't know कि मेरे लिए ideal feature size कौन सा है. In fact, this seems to be the pooling layer. तो मैं pooling भी इसी में डाल रहा हूँ, या फिर वो इकट्ठा ही उन्होंने layer को इकट्ठा कर दिया है. I'm doing convolution and pooling together. So I'm mixing things up. So there's just a way to do research when you have enough computational power. So जी, जब आप उस पे 1:1 convolution, 1:1 का क्या है, just 1. Exactly वो चीज आउटपुट के ऊपर
it's basically going from RGB to grayscale. That's what's happening.
Okay, so for the 1:1, we talked about the fact that we can convert from 192 to 64 by not applying the same 1:1 convolution over all the 192 channels, but rather over 64 channels which have been selected randomly. Or I can, just aggregate the information in these 192 into 64 and apply the 1:1 filter on that. So there could be different ways of implementing this. Okay. Yeah, so CNN usage, we take the complete network, remove a few layers from it and add custom layers on top of the remaining layers to train our model. मैं आपको बता चुका हूँ, ठीक है. Use the open source implementation. So this is a recommended practice कि जो भी आपको blogs में जो चीजें मिल रही हैं वो आप aggressively इसको use करें. हमारा तो default behavior होता है ना, but this is a recommended practice कि उसी को आप use करें, especially जो कि TensorFlow के उसके ऊपर भी जो कोड पढ़ें. And data augmentation is an important step that you have to do, ठीक है. So ये आपको करना होगा. Mirroring कर लें, random cropping, which I showed you in the last class. So you can apply those functions. अगर और भी हैं तो you can add to that, ठीक है. Rotating, sharing, color shifting, etc. So we'll do this after the break. अभी just let me hand over the papers. Let me discuss the paper. Okay, so we're explaining the assignment here. So you are supposed to work on these two data sets, and the purpose is not to get a very high accuracy, or the purpose is for you guys to understand ke hyperparameter tuning, what effect does it have on the accuracy. Even if the number of images is less, we will assume ke it is like you can assume ke thoda bahut overfit kar raha hai, ठीक है, या underfitting कर रहा है, वो भी problem नहीं है. Overfitting, underfitting का problem is related to the performance. We are not concerned about the performance. You just have to understand कि how the input parameters are related to the output. So you can take a reduced number of images जितना आपका PC allow करता है. अच्छा, Colab के अंदर it's free for 12 hours, जो मैंने कल पढ़ा है. Colab में जो GPU usage है, it's free for 12 hours. नहीं, I think one time.
Overall 12 hours run time पे वो है. 12 hours
in one session.
मतलब आप कोड की जो रनिंग है वो 12 hours से सीड नहीं कर सकते.
हाँ, ये that's the thing. चाहे वो 2 दिन में हो या
ये वाले जो डेटा सेट है लाइट पीसी पे चल जाएगा, चला लो नॉर्मल सीपीयू पे.
हाँ, ये चल जाएंगे, ठीक है, ठीक है. तो फिर ठीक है, आप इमेजेस पे टेक as many as possible. ये तो आपने खुद स्केल करना है उसको. I don't know कि रियली कितना होगा. So make a CNN with one C plus P layer and then fully connected and choose a default setting of your choice for all the hyperparameter output parameters, blah blah blah. So ये पहला go है उसके अंदर ना. Don't do any grid search for hyperparameters in this case. So ये आप overall compare करके देखें कि सिफार और फैशन एमनेस्ट में क्या difference आ रहा है. And if you think कि ये if possible then do it. Hyperparametric setting में अगर आप results को बेहतर बना सकते हैं तो बना लें. लेकिन it's just a playground sort of thing. तो जितना आपके पास पावर है आप उसके साथ खेलें, ठीक है. अच्छा, ओनली सबमिट द नोटबुक. उसके अलावा प्लीज कोई पीडीएफ वगैरह कुछ ना दीजिएगा. हर चीजें वही होनी चाहिए. हाँ, डेटा सेट फोल्डर भी दे दीजिएगा आपका जो अपना है. कौन सा वाला? कार की कहाँ बात हो रही है भाई अभी? डेटा सेट का मुझे बता दीजिएगा कि कितने आपने, क्योंकि आपका फोल्डर वगैरह जो भी अगर आपने स्पेसिफिक किया है, तो अगर आपने इमेजेस पे प्रोसेसिंग किया वो भी उसी कोड में डालिएगा. फिर एवरीथिंग इन वन नोटबुक, सही है. तो वो तो खैर मैं अपना चला लूंगा सिफार डाउनलोड करके, कोई मसला नहीं. अच्छा, ये कार डेटा सेट, फेस डिटेक्शन, अप्लाई और CNN. तो इस केस में जो है ना वो ऑब्जेक्ट डिटेक्शन बेसिकली है, तो CNN might not be giving a good performance here. In this case we have things like region CNN, fast region CNN, YOLO. वो इसके ज्यादा ट्यून्ड हैं. जिस तरह से उनके आर्किटेक्चर्स है ना, वो यहाँ पे CNN की परफॉर्मेंस might not converge, ठीक है. तो बहरहाल उसके साथ आप खेलें. जस्ट ये अब सारी चीजें जो मैंने आपको वो की थी, कन्वर्जेंस का इशू नहीं है. आप जस्ट देखें कि लॉस फंक्शन पे क्या इम्पैक्ट आ रहा है.
वही मसला आ रहा है.
कितने आपने लेयर्स लिए हैं?
सर मैंने 1 C plus P लेयर भी ट्राई किया, 2 पे भी ट्राई किया,
हाँ.
और भी कॉम्बिनेशंस ट्राई की, ड्रॉप आउट भी.
Okay, so object detection is this thing in which I can efficiently detect different objects with a very good accuracy and giving the probability as well along with the object. ठीक है कि what is the probability that this is a person, this is a person. For example, यहाँ पर कुछ लोग शायद वो स्कीइंग कर रहे हैं, वो वाटर स्की कर रहे हैं, whatever. So all of these are people. So that's the. अब इसका जो बेसिक मेथड है वो ये है कि लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल जो सबसे बेसिक मेथड था शुरू में वो ये था कि यू हैव दिस इमेज एंड यू ब्रेक इट डाउन इनटू रीजन्स. ठीक है. So I take 4 regions and I consider each region as a separate image. और इस हर region को अलग अलग आप पास करें CNN को and then try to classify them into different classes. और फिर just combine the results of all the different regions together and then बता दें कि कौन कौन सी classes हमने उसमें detect की हैं. ठीक है. इसमें प्रॉब्लम ये है कि इफ आई हैव दिस लीनियर अप्रोच टू डीप लर्निंग कि मैंने उसको 4 हिस्सों में तोड़ा एंड देन आई जस्ट टेक ईच रीजन ऑफ द सेम साइज, सो द कंटेंट ऑफ ईच इमेज इज नॉट द सेम. in some region the car will be right at the corner, in some region the car might not be there, in some region there might be a building, in other there might not be a building. So and then I'm integrating everything, so I need to have a more homogeneous approach of doing this thing. सही है, समझ में आ रही बात की. तो objects in the image can have different aspect ratios. कि I mean building का जो aspect ratio है that is different from the aspect ratio of a electric pole or a traffic signal. ठीक है. And spatial locations, so everything is not present at the center of the image in each region. Therefore मैं ये कहूँ कि भाई आप इस तरह 4 टुकड़ों में कर दें और हर रीजन में अपना ऑब्जेक्ट डिटेक्ट करें और फिर बाद में सबको कंबाइन कर दें, तो आई एम अज्यूमिंग के द ऑब्जेक्ट दैट आई वांट टू डिटेक्ट इज एट द सेंटर ऑफ ईच रीजन एंड इट इज वेरी क्लियर, इट इज हैविंग द सेम एस्पेक्ट रेशियो, इट इज द सेम टाइम ऑफ ऑब्जेक्ट. ये तो कभी भी नहीं होता. ठीक है. ऐसा कैसे हो सकता है? हो सकता है कि एक रीजन के अंदर कार आधी हो और आधी जो है दूसरे रीजन में हो, फिर आप क्या करेंगे? ठीक है. सो दिस इज डेफिनेटली नॉट द वे इन विच यू विल डिटेक्ट द ऑब्जेक्ट. So RCNN or region CNN proposes a bunch of boxes in the image. Bounding box का आपने नाम सुना होगा. And checks if any of the boxes contain any object. So the idea is कि जो भी आप एक density आप detect करते हैं in a region, if you detect a uniform density, so you assume कि that is an object. So you draw a bounding box around it. और उस bounding box के अंदर फिर focus करके you try to see कि whether there is an object in this or not. So yeah, that's the idea. ठीक है. So if that process is called selective search, जो कि boxes को extract करेगा from an image. So the first thing is to extract the boxes. So that is called selective search, and the boxes are called regions. ठीक है. So there are basically 4 regions that form an object, varying scales, colors, textures, and enclosure. Enclosure means the border. सही है. तो these things can distinguish one object from another by different scale, different color, different textures, and different borders. So I can distinguish between objects based on these 4 properties. ठीक है. सही है. ये by default ये properties हैं जिनकी वजह से कि मैं distinguish कर सकता हूँ. For example, I can distinguish between 2 human beings by the gender and by the clothes or by the fact कि are you wearing the glasses or not. So इससे हम human beings को distinguish करते हैं. We also know the names. So similarly, if I want to distinguish between the regions, so these are the 4 parameters that we can use. Selective search identifies these patterns in the image and based on that proposes various boxes or regions. सही है. तो पहले हम क्या करते हैं कि आप एक image input पे लें, then it generates initial sub segments. So in that case, I have multiple regions in the image. सही है. तो सब पहले केस में I can have thousands of regions when I start in the beginning, like convolutional neural network. ठीक है. And then I combine similar regions to form a larger region based on this. तो इस तरह मैंने इसको combine कर दिया. तो आप ये देखें कि we take a pre-trained convolutional neural network. We are not training any pre-trained ResNet ले लें for example. ठीक है. Then this model is retrained. We train the last layer of the network based on the number of classes that need to be detected. That is the MLP part. The third step is to get the region of interest. अब ये सारा काम CNN के ऊपर हो रहा है. ठीक है. So input image है, then I get the region of interest for each image, which are these bounding boxes basically. We then reshape all these regions so that they can match the CNN input size. तो इनको इस तरह से आप reshape कर लेते हैं कि वो CNN के साथ synchronize कर जाए. सही है. That is the thing कि because we have to input these regions to the CNN so that the CNN can detect the object here. ठीक है, तो मैंने जब I take a pre-trained CNN, I adjust the MLP based on the fact कि मैंने कितने objects जो है वो detect करने हैं, how many objects I have to detect, ठीक है. और फिर उसके बाद क्या है कि जो मैंने regions, then I identify the regions based on the algorithm, and then I put each region as input to a neuron, the CNN network, because I want the CNN to detect the object in each region. So ये तो main algorithm is to identify the regions, ठीक है. So after getting the regions, so that's why ये वो कह रहा है कि reshape करें आप, ठीक है. So in a sense, we have 2000 regions approximately per image. So that means I have to input 2000 or I have to train separately क्या कहते हैं 2000 convolution neural networks. Is that what it means? अगर हर रीजन के अंदर ऑब्जेक्ट डिफरेंट हो और आई हैव मेनी क्लासेस, तो इनिशियल जो एप्लीकेशन थी इसकी रीजन बेस्ड सीएनएन की, उसमें वो अज्यूम कर रहे थे कि वी आर हैविंग डिफरेंट इंस्टेंसेस ऑफ सीएनएन, ठीक है. सो when we get the regions, we train SVM to classify objects and the background. For each class, we train one binary SVM. Finally, we train a linear regression model to generate tighter bounding boxes for each identified object in the image. So जब ऑब्जेक्ट आइडेंटिफाई हो जाता है, देन वी टाइटन दी बाउंडिंग बॉक्स, क्योंकि सीएनएन कैन एग्जैक्टली स्पेसिफाई कि ऑब्जेक्ट किस जगह पे है, तो बाउंडिंग बॉक्स उसके बिल्कुल टाइट कर देते हैं उसके इर्द गिर्द. पहले तो एक अप्रोक्सीमेशन होती है. सो दिस इज द थिंग कि इफ आई एम डिटेक्टिंग डिफरेंट ऑब्जेक्ट्स, देन इन द इनिशियल केस वी वर यूजिंग डिफरेंट इंस्टेंसेस ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेट्स, ऑल्दो दे वर वेरी स्मॉल कोऑर्डिनेट्स, मतलब इतने वो नहीं थे, क्या कहते हैं, दे वर नॉट वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, ठीक है. So I detect the regions, I map them, reshape them to the input of the coordinate and forward each region to the coordinate. उसके बाद I apply each SVM. SVM से क्या होगा? क्लासिफिकेशन करके वो बता देगा कि ऑब्जेक्ट कौन सा है, क्लासिफिकेशन करके बता देगा कि ऑब्जेक्ट कौन सा है, ठीक है. और फिर उसके बाद I can have the tighter bounding boxes for each region, ठीक है. So that was the initial game. Extracting 2000 regions for each image based on selective search was pretty hectic, ठीक है. Extracting features using CNN for every image region. Suppose we have n images, then the number of CNN features will be n into 2000. Why? n into 2000 हो जाएगा, ठीक है. So इसमें CNN for feature extraction, SVM for classification, and regression model for tightening the bounded boxes. All these processes make this RCNN very slow, ठीक है. तो it takes around 1 minute to predict. 1 मिनट के बाद prediction आती थी टेस्ट डेटा के ऊपर. So obviously we want to do something else. So instead of running a CNN 2000 times per image, we can run just in once per image. So instead of different CNN normnet, तो हम सिर्फ उसको एक ही दफा इस्तेमाल कर लें and get all the regions of interest. So I just run the CNN once per image, not 2000 times per image. सही है. एक इमेज में एक ही दफा में आप सारे डिटेक्ट करके वो आप उसको CNN को दे दें. तो running the CNN just once per image and then finding a way to share that computation across the 2000 regions. So ये था आपका फास्ट जो CNN है. अब इसमें क्या हो रहा है? Input image, you forward the whole image through the coordinate. पहले क्या हो रहा था कि different regions of interest निकाल के अलग अलग coordinate की applications को दे रहे थे, सही है. So if you got 2000 regions per image, so you got 2000 applications of the coordinate along with SVM and then the linear regression. So that was very difficult. अब क्या हो रहा है कि हम we are using just one coordinate per image and then detecting the regions based on the output of that, ठीक है. पहले क्या होता है ये देखें, I was using multiple coordinates for each region separately, mapping them separately here. So that was the first version. In the fast RCNN अब मैं ये कर रहा हूँ कि there is just one coordinate और फिर उसके ऊपर I am detecting the regions of interest from that one, and then ROI pooling में उसके बाद कर रहा हूँ, ROI pooling, ठीक है. So region instance from a proposal method conv5 feature map of image, and then after that I get these different pools fully connected and then apply this for each region separately. ठीक है? That was the fast RCNN. सही है, समझ में आ गई? Fast RCNN के भी problem areas थे. It uses selected search to find which is the student time. It takes around 2 seconds per image to detect objects, which is better as compared to RCNN. So इन्होंने इसको बेहतर इस तरह बनाया कि they proposed a region proposal network. So third case में faster RCNN के अंदर उन्होंने ये किया कि they used one convolution network per image, and then they used a region proposal network in which I get these different proposals. This is the feature map of Canon. You generate different feature maps at the output of the convolution layers, and from those feature maps I am detecting the different proposals. Proposal means basically a potential region. सही है, और उसकी फिर आप pooling करके classification कर लें. So region proposal network is applied on these feature maps. This returns the object proposals along with their objectness score. So the new concept was the region proposal network. ठीक है? And then you can. So ये basically इस तरह sliding window करके ना, जैसे आप convolution में करते हैं, तो जो feature maps इसके output के ऊपर आ रहे हैं, उसके ऊपर आप sliding window करके you try to detect the proposals. ये चीज है. हम तो कर रहे थे feature, we are doing it to reduce the feature size, reduce the input dimension. Convolution हम इसलिए कर रहे हैं ना कि हम object detection करें और क्या कहते हैं, reduce the input dimension size. In this case, we are doing it to detect the bounding boxes or the regions of interest. ठीक है? So ये उसकी एक basic example है. So in this case, we have the concept of anchor boxes. सही है, तो इसमें आप you can have different anchor boxes के anchor कर देता है उसको. Anchor box का मतलब है कि it anchors the image at the center. So image का जो center होगा, that becomes your central point for detecting the bounding box and also detecting the object in that bounding box. So the central point takes the the limelight. ठीक है? Anchor boxes are fixed size boundary boxes that are placed for the image and have different shapes and sizes depending कि उसके इर्द-गिर्द आपका region आपने किस तरह का detect किया है. So basically, I'm applying the filter here to detect the bounding boxes or the anchor boxes. So in this case, the RPN can predict the probability that the anchor is an object, and second is the bounding box regressor for adjusting the anchors. So पहले हमेशा जो the first version is always not specific, but when the SVM classifies it, then you can tighten it. सही है, so that is always the case कि पहले वो होगा, फिर आखिर में आपको tightened मिलेगा कि बिल्कुल image के इर्द गिर्द वो box नजर आ रहा होगा. ठीक है? So this is just one projection, so I can do this as a projection to this to detect that this is a bicycle. So they use region to identify the object. Network does not look at the complete image in one go. एक ही go में पूरा image नहीं देखा जाता, बल्कि हम region के ऊपर focuses on parts of the image sequentially. That's what we are doing. So the algorithm require many passes through a single image to extract all the objects. ये क्योंकि आप image को sequentially देख रहे हैं, we are not looking at the image in one go. ठीक है? And this can degrade the performance. तो YOLO के अंदर ये है कि it deals with object detection in a different way. It takes the entire image in a single instance and predicts the bounding box coordinates and class probabilities for these boxes. अब वो जो sequential method था ना, वो सारा खत्म हो गया. Even when you were applying the one convolution network on the single image, so that was also being done sequentially. अब ये है कि आप image को एक ही दफा देखते हैं और एक ही go में आप सारे bounding boxes और anchor boxes along with class probabilities आप निकाल लेते हैं. So YOLO right now has into version 3 now, and it is extremely fast. यानी पहले RCNN, fast RCNN, faster RCNN, and now YOLO, and now we are on to YOLO version 3 right now. अभी जो currently चल रहा है वो मेरे YOLO version 3 चल रहा है. तो object detection के लिए YOLO is the. तो हमने अभी रिसेंटली एक सर्वे किया था, तो योलो 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 योलो, ठीक है, रेस्टनेट योलो, रेस्टनेट योलो, रेस्टनेट योलो. फुली कनेक्टेड कॉन्वोल्यूशन कॉननेट की एप्लीकेशंस कम थी और योलो की एप्लीकेशंस बहुत ज्यादा थी. सही है. सो दिस मतलब बेस्ट एल्गोरिथम फॉर ऑब्जेक्ट डिटेक्शन ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला. सो अब ये थोड़ा सा तफसील हो जाएगी और जस्ट ब्राउज थ्रू इट कि YOLO इस तरह चलेगा कि it will first divide it into regions. Image classification localization are applied on each grid. ठीक है. YOLO then presents a boundary, तो it approximate each region by this vector. सही है. तो इसके अंदर B are the dimensions of the bounding boxes. C are the classes. So if you are detecting 3 classes, then this. तो every region के लिए vector fill up होता है. P is the probability. What is the probability? सही है. तो 3 classes है, pedestrian, car और motorcycle. So for each region it learns this vector basically. और इस vector के ऊपर वो detect करता है कि object है कि नहीं है. So whether it is an object or not. So for example, these are some example of images. Here we have just 0. And nothing else is there because we can't, seem to detect anything. Here we have detected something, and that is why it is 1 here. So it's a car here. So यहाँ vector it's 1 here. So input image 100 by 103 CNN layer, max pooling layer, CNN max pooling layer, and then the output is a 3 by 38. This is the bounding box. ठीक है. अच्छा, इसके अंदर ये 2 मेथड यूज होते हैं कि इंटरसेक्शन ऑफ यूनियन. दिस इज डन टू एक अप्रोक्सीमेट बॉक्स प्रिडिक्ट होता है और एक एक्चुअल बॉक्स होता है. सो एक्चुअल बॉक्स तो आप लेबल करके बताते हो ना व्हेन यू आर ट्रेनिंग इट. सो उनका जो इंटरसेक्शन होता है ना, उससे वो निकाल लेता है कि मेरा एरर कितना है इस वक्त. तो इट कैन देन मिनिमाइज द एरर यूजिंग बैक प्रोपगेशन. ठीक है. सो दैट्स जस्ट द इंटरसेक्शन ओवर यूनियन. एंड इट आल्सो हैज अ मेथड ऑफ देयर कैन बी मल्टीपल बाउंडिंग बॉक्सेस for one particular object. So it also has a method of reducing them to just one bounding box. ये दूसरा एक चीज होती है जो कि इसके साथ स्पेसिफिक है YOLO के साथ. ठीक है. तो इसकी हम बहुत डिटेल नहीं देख सकते. So in the end you have something like this. ये देखें, every bounding box is pretty tight. So इसका मैं जो hands on वगैरह है वो मैं आपको during the week में भेज दूंगा. We can't do hands on in class. आप प्लीज उसको देख लीजिएगा. बनी बनाई फाइल्स होंगी, वो मैं आपको ड्यूरिंग द वीक में आपको सेंड कर दूंगा इंशाल्लाह. सही है. रिगार्डिंग द ऑब्जेक्ट डिटेक्शन सिनेरियोज. इसके 2-3 मुझे मिले हैं जो कि गिटहब के ऊपर. सो आई विल हैव टू सी, क्योंकि वो बड़े स्प्रेड आउट हैं. तो इसको फिर हम देख लेंगे करके किस तरह करते हैं. मे बी यू कैन यूज द सेम थिंग इन योर असाइनमेंट एज वेल. So traditional CNN, simplified YOLO RCNN and YOLO RCNN. So these are the 3 things. हम image classification करनी है, then CNN is fine. Classification with respect to localization करनी है, और with localization करनी है कि teddy bear is here. ठीक है. That is, you can detect simplified YOLO RCNN and the traditional YOLO RCNN for actually the detection along with class probabilities. सही है. तो wherever you have to detect, then you can use this. अच्छा, अब ये है कि for the case of the projects, तो प्रोजेक्ट की केस में कुछ सोचा आप लोगों ने थोड़ा सा?